Joining us now to discuss the latest upsets in the 2020 Democrat primary field, we go to William Davis, reporter for the Daily Caller. So, William, we've been following this the Democrat process with you from the beginning up to this point. And right now, Kamala Harris might be the biggest name to drop out of the field. What was the downfall of the Harris campaign?
It's hard to point to just one moment. A lot of people pointed to the moment when Tulsi Gabbard brought up her record on criminal justice at the second Democratic debate as the turning point. But I just don't know that Kamala Harris had a real purpose in her campaign. She just flip-flopped on a lot of issues. She kind of drifted back and forth between the center and the far left. So it's just she never really could find an identity in her campaign, and she never really had any grassroots appeal. And I think that sort of doomed her campaign. I am surprised that she flamed out this early, but I really never thought she was going to win the nomination personally.
Who benefits the most from Harris dropping out of this campaign?
I don't know, because, she doesn't have that much support. So I don't know that's really going to put anybody over the top, but it could benefit some people. I think, most of her supporters are probably going to go to either Buttigieg or Biden, I would guess. Maybe some will go to Sanders or Warren, but the majority will probably go to one of the two more, quote unquote, moderate candidates, right. Buttigieg or Biden. But again, she doesn't really have a ton of support. She didn't have a ton of support by the time she dropped out, so it's not going to be a huge.
So do you think that we haven't seen the rest of Kamala Harris yet? Do you think that she's maybe vying for a VP seat, or maybe she's just trying to get support going into her next Senate run? What is the reasoning, do you think, of why she dropped out so early?
Well, no, I mean, I still think Kamala Harris is she probably has a bright political future. I mean, she's still in her first term in the Senate. She's got 3 years left in that term. But I think that, she just didn't have the funds to continue. I think as far as some other people, I think Cory Booker and Julian Castro would also be contenders for the VP slot. I'm sure that's another sort of the invisible vice presidential primary that we're going to see between people like Booker, Harris, and Castro. I definitely think Harris would like to be vice president, but we'll see. I don't know. She's got a shot, but I don't know. We'll see.
And, she early on in this campaign, she blamed when she started struggling in the polls on racism and sexism. I believe It was with Axios when she first said that. We heard those similar type of things reiterated yesterday by Julian Castro, by Cory Booker as well. At some degree, this is a criticism of the Democrat electorate, right? I mean, they're the ones who are turning out for these polls. They're the ones who are coming out to vote, essentially. They're the ones making the donations. What is the reasoning behind why they're kind of focusing this point? Is it more against the DNC, or are they taking aim at the Democrat electorate right now for their decisions?
Well, I think I don't think the reason Kamala Harris's campaign failed was because of her race or her gender. I think, Kamala Harris, she didn't really do anything much to inspire voters. She didn't lead on any critical issue, and she was very nakedly ambitious, which I think turned off a lot of voters. As far as Booker and Castro, I think they're kind of in similar boats where they're both also very sort of nakedly ambitious. And that's not to say that other leading candidates aren't. But I think they're not really leading on issues, and they're not really doing enough to inspire people to get out to vote. I don't really think it has anything to do with like race or gender or anything.
Right, and a lot of the people who were critical of what she was saying too is just look back to 2008. I mean, Barack Obama won the Iowa caucus. Hillary Clinton in 2016 was the female. She was the presidential candidate for the Democrat Party. So to kind of blame it on, once again, racism and sexism seems to be a little bit displaced. But this is kind of a development moving forward. I mean, a lot of candidates have dropped out as of recently. And William, we're going to be sure to keep tabs on you throughout this entire process moving forward. But thank you for joining us tonight.